especially on campus, we need to have a way to organize these different movements in a way that makes sense. Obviously, I think we can get more effective change done if we all know what each other are doing and know the best ways we can help each other.
When I first started this position in 2012, it was initially the Food Coalition that approached me and said, hey, there's all these great student groups that are interested in food and the local economy, and we want to find a way to communicate better so that our work can be more impactful on campus and in the community.
Our coalition, I think, was the first one, so we were able to be the visionary, like, oh yeah, like we just want to work together.
So the Food Coalition has now really become the model for the way we do a lot of our work out of the collaborative, and has led to 4 other coalitions. The Food Coalition, the Arts for Social Change Coalition.
I'm co-editor-in-chief of Cypher magazine, and with the SOC, or the Sounds of CC, which is the student radio station on campus.
I am working with the community kitchen to think about how arts programs can be implemented to enrich the experience that we already create on Sundays.
I was in the Arts for Social Change LLC. We're trying to get involved with the community and seeing how we can use arts to get more involved with everyone around us.
The Community and Mental Health Coalition.
We formed the Mental Health Coalition last year, which is now part of the Community Health Coalition.
Our 2 pieces came together. I'm a co-leader of GROW, and she helped recreate Active Minds on this campus. And we just started working together last year.
Global Health and Human Rights Coalition will include GlobeMed, Amnesty International, and Peace Jam. And then from there, we definitely hope to do some outreach and see who else it makes sense to include in those conversations. And then we'll have a Community Service and Civic Engagement Compact. It'll serve as sort of an entry point for one-time volunteer opportunities, so folks that don't necessarily want to get involved in something that sounds as big as a coalition, but it will also be kind of a neutral entry point for folks that want to engage with either local or national politics. And before we had these coalition structures, everything was I inherited 22 student groups going in 22 million different directions, and so there wasn't a good way to support folks individually because everything else was so hectic.
There's a sense to me and some of the groups I'm involved in that we're all competing for resources, and that's really unnecessary, especially since a lot of the work that we're doing is actually helpful to each other if we only had access to these schedules and information of what these other groups are doing.
Before I was working with Addison in the collaborative, I had no idea what I was doing. In fact, we were a different club that was not really working out, and then Addison was the one who suggested Active Minds, and now that's the reason why it's taking off. So our group would be nothing without the collaborative, quite literally.
The coalitions, even though they become bigger and we're not talking so much about individual work or individual ideas sometimes, it's where we've been able to form really the best relationships. I think that's the best way to drive any work in a community. And when we're actually modeling those skills or those structures for students, they're going to have a much better idea of how to then model that in their own leadership wherever they're going from here.
GROW's weekly support meetings are all well and good, but I think we've all seen leaders of mental health take on too much, and that's a huge issue. And it was such a blessing having the Newborn Collaborative last year at the beginning of Mental Health Awareness Week, be able to throw myself into certain events and really know that other people were doing their best on other things and I didn't have to worry about it. And that was really huge. And so it really creates possibility for bigger events, week-long things with constant sources of inspiration and answers without putting too much on any one individual.
I'm excited that students are already planning so far ahead into the year for really big work.
So I'm really looking forward to having more conversations about food justice at the community kitchen. I think that would be a great opportunity to work with the Food Coalition about how we can make the food cycle more sustainable.
Arts for Social Change, they'll have a big Meet the Press event during third week, and that'll actually be the first time that all of the student publications are getting together all in one place to showcase their work and really introduce themselves to the entire campus community.
We want this to last, like, past when we graduate, to have like an office that is advocating, like, we know will be advocating for us in the future and for like students like us. So even though I can't be a part of Food Rescue and a part of Good Food Club and a part of all of these different groups, in a way I kind of can be, just through like meeting and connecting with the people that are involved in all of these clubs.
One of the larger goals of the collaborative is to leave a legacy in a way, so that the work that students do isn't forgotten and there's not these new 4-year cycles and then everything that students have worked so hard for while they're here is just left behind.
It feels good to have an office that wants us to do that and wants us to be good leaders and preparing us in a different way than maybe in the classroom, but like to go out and to be ready to deal with these issues of not only living well but doing good.